And bringing up a comedian. Good comedian, too. A guy who hosts his own show every Sunday night over at Catch a Rising Star in Cambridge. Used to be Jonathan Swift's, but you guys in the music business are out now. It's a comedy club, and you can see him there every Sunday night. A fine comedian, somebody who's been a regular here and always loved. Please, a nice round of applause, Mr. Brian Kiley.
Have a nice day for Mike McDonald. Have a nice day. Hilarious guy. So, real funny guy. All right, so here we are at the Mike McDonald Cable Show, huh? What a feeling. This is like having hair. It is. I'm thrilled. I really am. I went to the doctor today. I found out I have a heart murmur, which is kind of a relief. I thought I was hearing things. Scary. I don't like doctors. I was in the hospital for 3 months. I had 2 broken legs. I fell behind in my student loans. I'm really cracking down on that. Yeah. When I was little, our doctor was Dr. Seuss. He removed the Cantoozle from my bamboozle. Yeah. I almost died as a kid ice skating one time. I fell in a crack in the ice and thought that was going to be it. Luckily, one of the guys who worked at the rink came over. And, it was pretty close. Yeah. It was a fun job, though. You ever have a job that you hated? It's constant. Last day I was like that. I hated it. I worked one day, and the boss knew I was really unhappy, so before I left, he asked me if I'd give it the old college try, and I said, okay, and I drank all night and didn't show up the next day. Gotta keep your word. Yeah. It was a fun job. My older brother's a cop, which is okay, except he's an undercover detective, so he could be any of you people. In the last year, I've met 3 women at bars, brought them home, only to find out it was actually my brother. Just pulling my leg, just like that. Yeah. I come from a typical Irish family. When you're Irish, you have to go to a lot of family reunions every week. They're called AA meetings. I don't know whether you knew that or not, perhaps. I really haven't been drinking very much lately, though, except for tonight and last night and yesterday morning and a few other nights this week. But I read this article on alcoholism said it leads to depression and other mental disorders. The article scared the shit out of me. It mentioned me by name about 6 times. First time I ever got drunk, I was 2 months old. Well, my uncle's a joke switched my bottle with his. I got hammered. Couldn't even stand up. Wet in my pants. And I forget half the stuff I said, but every time I go with my best friend, he starts doing shots. Those diabetics. Thanks. Drinking almost kept me out of college, though, because I went to Boston College and had my interview with this priest on a Saturday morning. Talk about your vicious hangovers. I really felt bad for the guy. I really did. Yeah, I learned some really important stuff in college, I'll tell you. Like if one pizza place starts delivering, they all do. That's the domino theory. I love the delayed reactions here. This happened to me last night. The crowd didn't start laughing until the other guy was on. College is all right. I used to think Harvard was the hardest school in the country to get into until I started reading this stuff about Westfield State. I mean, the interview there has got to be a bitch when you think about it. That's the only school in the country your parents get mad at you if you're on the dean's list. But Dad, I can explain. Yeah. I'll teach you to cram. Yeah. Oh, it's a joke. Come on. Yeah, I'm going to have Catholic relatives watching this and bumming out. I can tell. It's bound to happen. Not too crazy about my relatives. I look at my relatives, I can't believe I'm actually related to these people. You know what I mean? I give blood 4 times a year just so I'm less and less related to these people. Well, that works like that, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, I went to a family wedding a couple weeks ago. It was videotaped. Have you seen people do this? This actually came in handy because my date thought she caught the bouquet, but the replay clearly showed that it bounced. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. No, it was my cousin that got married. He had to. His girlfriend won the lottery. What's he gonna do, you know? I'd love to win the lottery, but they change the numbers every week. Pisses me off. I went to the bank the other day. I opened up a now and then account. My bank claims to be cooperative, but I've seen no evidence of that whatsoever. They yelled at me last week for writing a bad check, and I tried to deny it and say I didn't do it, but I wrote the check while I was at the bank, and they've got video cameras. The replay clearly showed that it bounced. There's no doubt about it. Weird things have been going on. I was at the supermarket a couple weeks ago. I was making funny faces at the little kid in front of me for 2, maybe 3 minutes before I realized he was a midget. He wanted to wrestle me. I told him to forget it. And of course, it turned out to be my brother just pulling my leg. Yeah, I think it's fun to piss people off. I get my doctor all the time. My doctor doesn't like to make house calls, and I force him to. Call him up till I've got a temperature of 107 Celsius. He shows up, I don't let him see me. Make him sit in another room and read magazines all day. Now, perversion's a big problem with doctors these days. And I had an incident a couple years ago. The guy made me take my clothes off, did that turn your head and cough thing. Then he asked what kind of wine I like. Wanted to go to the mountains with him sometime. Something fishy about this dentist. Of course, it turned out to be my brother just pulling my leg. Thanks a lot.
Brian. It's Brian Kiley. Tell him how you like him. Here you go, Brian. Put that baby anywhere on that sweater. Yeah, that's fine. It's Brian Kiley, who you can see him playing his Comedy Wares every Sunday night, right, over at Catch a Rising Star. You didn't wait very long before you moved in on that place, huh?
No, actually, I camped out for about a week.
That's right. It's like getting Who tickets.
Well, I had guys who, I got rented a couple scalpers.
Uh-huh.
And they do good work, as you can see.
So what do you do on Sundays over there?
That was a ball joke, thank you.
Yeah, Brian and I look like before and after pictures, don't we?
That's right. This is,
I spilled a whole gallon of the Helsinki formula on my head.
I think if the day after was a miniseries, we both would have been in it. They just had the movie.
So what are you doing over there on Sundays?
I'm just putting up a whole bunch of people.
You're doing an open mic over there?
Yeah, we have the
You're
open mic,
hosting the open mic over there.
And,
Isn't that an awesome job?
Everyone I know is a comedian now, apparently.
Right.
I yelled at the mailman the other day. I didn't realize that he was just...
He was thinking up a comedy bit?
Yeah, he was just delivering the mail. I just assumed he was.
Right.
It's been unbelievable.
How many guys do you usually end up, or gals, do you end up
well, the show's Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We put up about...
30, 40 people?
Last night's show just ended about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we had a couple
in
guys
time.
went long. They didn't do their time.
Right.
But, yeah, it's kind of... it's grueling. It is. If you're thinking of becoming a comedian, move. Please. I would appreciate that.
Let me tell you what happens when you're hosting the open mic. You sit down, they give you a list. Say you're a guy who thinks he wants to do comedy. You come into the club and you look for the list, or you try and ask around, geez, how do I get on here? And you go over and you sign up on the list. Now, needless to say, there are some people who have been coming down to the open mic for years, literally years. Why, in many cases, is the big question, because after their first experience on stage, you would have thought, hang yourself. But they don't figure this stuff out, and they keep coming back, so...
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been accused of favoritism for favoring the people who speak English. And
Wacky
who are sane. And
bilingual. I've been trying to get that out for a whole set now, but that's right. Hosting over at... that's no easy job, hosting, because there's the pressure of the people who have been there for 2 years trying to get on again one more night. And then there's some people who really deserve to get on.
Yeah.
Who are good comics.
We do have
Who's new? Anybody new that you've seen that's very funny?
Roger Alatalo is very funny.
Roger Alatalo.
He juggles
good comedy.
He juggles axes. And he never
He's
gets
not that
heckled.
funny. People just tell him he is.
Well, that's true. But no one heckles him, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
much.
that's right.
He's a funny guy. Tom Brown's very funny.
Yeah.
And
Okay, to hell with these guys. What's happening in your career?
well, Roger Alatalo is very funny. let's see. I was cut out of the MTV thing. We
You were
did.
cut out? Oh, yeah, we did that.
Yeah, that's right.
How come you were cut out? You had a good set.
They had a limit on bald guys,
Oh,
and I was one over the limit.
one over the limit. Is that what they were telling you?
I thought the guy had some hair that they put on, and that he shouldn't have counted. But
But that wasn't the case.
no, that bummed me out. But
Where else can people see you in the area?
let's see. I work regularly in Saugus.
There you go. Black fly season's coming up in Saugus. So any of you
Let's
people
see.
you don't want to see the flies, you come see Kiley. Give him a nice round of applause.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.